Thought I was being watched for a second there. Hello, greetings, and beyond new. It is I, Dark77777, with another fanfiction review. So, it's episode 10, and I wanted to review something unique, and I thought, what should I review? Better Off Alone? No. Fallout Equestria? No. Think. I don't know why people with like mustaches do like this. Let me think. I know, we'll blow it up! I have no idea what I was saying about that. So I looked through, like, some random fanfictions, and I remembered, back in episode 1, I reviewed Yu-Gi-Oh! The Thousand Year Door. At one time, I accidentally looked through, like, the author's page, and I noticed that he did a redone version of it. So I figured, I'll give it a shot. So, I reviewed Yu-Gi-Oh! The Thousand Year Door Redux. Now, as always, link to the story in the description. Please like, subscribe. This is my opinion. And I know you're probably not gonna care. Because you probably say, you didn't say that! You didn't say that! This is my opinion. It's fact! Yeah! Name calling. Also, quick pro. The last video I made, which was basically an explanation of why it's taking so long to do these videos. Miss Mew Mew found out about it. She didn't like what it said and deleted it. Interpret that what you will. So, and also, since it's a redone version, a lot of the stuff I'm going to be talking about is already in the original story. So, as a precaution, when I have my fingers like this, I will be talking about the part that's only exclusive to the redone version. So, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Thousand Year Door Redux by Occam's Razor. Not Cyber Commander, he renamed it to himself to Occam's Razor. Honestly, I thought Occam was spelled O-C-C-U-M. I thought it was honest mistake. Consider back, this like sounds like it has the U in it. Okay, so anyway, so plot. So the plot in the redone version is the same as the original version. The Shadow Queen, stuck behind the Thousand Year Door, starts a grand tournament in the country of Arcadia to get free. And the three main characters, Stan, Andy, and Francesca, go around the island, beating up the bad guys, dueling and progressing through the tournament in hopes that they beat the queen. Again, I'm only just paraphrasing everything from the first story because I went into more detail then, so just refer to that one. But I like how it's more structured. As much as I like the whole simple is better concept, I do have to accept the gravitas of upping the stakes and introducing this story into the Shadow Chasers universe, so to speak. And I really like that, and I really think as a prologue to the main series, main Shadow Chasers, so it's like, okay, so it's like 5 years, or I don't know how far. I know it takes place before 5Ds, so I'm not sure. But I really like how the author made the plot better, made it grandiose, and made it overall more grand, if simplest terms. Sorry, I just finished parenting class a couple of days ago, so I'm like, and I still have the idea of keep it simple going through my mind. As for new content, there's a subplot involving Count Black. The fact that the Shadow Queen actually has a backstory, unlike the original, where she says, "Oh, she just appeared and she was evil and she took over the world and she was beaten and stuck behind the door. Now she wants a tournament so she can have revenge on the descendants." Yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail on that until at least a tiny bit later. And I really overall like the polish and the improvements made to the plot. Character development. I like what the author did. One of my biggest bugbears with the original story is I did not like the characters. The only characters I really liked were the Shadow Queen, Francesca, Vladimir, and a one-off character who was in one duel, but I understand why he couldn't be in this one due to the fact reasons. I'm not gonna bring that up. I like how he interpreted all the characters, including the new ones that show up. Count Black, this guy named Lyrius, who was in love with the Shadow Queen. All the characters except for Vladimir were improved upon and changed, and I really like that. Like, Melissa's not a bimbo anymore. She's like more of a wrong person. I should have picked. I guess. But the biggest ones were Stan and Andy. My biggest problems with them was in the first story, they started out okay, but then they kind of became really, really similar. And I like how they did it. Andy started out as like this really, really sort of a shy guy, but that had used glasses to like give himself confidence. I understand. In an interview, like I think a year ago, Dave Bautista explained that he wore sunglasses early in his WWE career because he had stage fright and he used the glass to increase his confidence, and so that way they won't see his eyes and the fear in them. So I understand where he's coming from, where the character is coming from with that. And Stanley was more of a Joker who liked to take things seriously. Understandable. And I also like the parallels to each of the protagonists in the series. Like, Andy was the super shy guy who, as soon as he had eyes on, he turned into a super serious character, similar to Yugi Moto. Francesca was this very aloof girl who liked to have fun, but knows when to be serious when the situation calls for it, similar to Jaden. And Stan was the very serious guy who had a lot of confidence, but was really emotionally, I guess, slightly fractured, similar to Yusei. I'm using the wrong word for that. Maybe he's not emotionally imbalanced. He's a super serious, ultra confident guy who needed to be mellowed out, like Yusei. And I like the parallels are uncanny, but they're different enough that they're own standalone characters. And the Shadow Queen was made more sympathetic, but at least it was balanced by the fact that the main trio were developed enough to warrant wanting to see her lose, unlike the last story where I wanted to see her win. And a lot of the minor characters, some of the characters are brought back. All of them are actually using different decks, except for Andy. I don't know why he still decided to use dragons. And not literally make the deck different. I mean, okay, dragons. Okay. You could have added made half the decks. It's like around 5Ds. You had XC monsters. You could have had a whole bunch of different dragons. No, it's the same dragons. It's the same cards. Andy and Stan and Francesca, they kept their themes, but they had different cards. Well, except for Francesca, she had a whole different archetype revolving around unicorns. Okay, I understand where they're coming from. Hey. But seriously, they didn't even bother changing Andy's deck aside from adding one or two new cards. Okay. I get the idea. They didn't really need his deck to change that much, but it's something. It's like a Red Eyes deck. Something. Or at least another Red Eyes. Anyway, back. Yeah, and I like Crump. No, I like Crump in the first one. Honestly, Crump's the only character I don't really like in this story, but he was sort of a coward, but he still had that Crump feelings, pow, I'm gone! And and that really stupid laugh. And yeah, he was comic relief. He was like the butt monkey comic relief. But in this story, he's like, they try and make him too serious, and I was like, well, he's a bubbling fool, but they're trying to make, but I didn't like the fact the author was trying to make him serious. I mean, you should just let him be a fool, let him, like, suffer, and he did suffer, but it's like, it's really just a step down. I mean, the first story, he got beat up by, like, a girl and a wife. This story, he got beat up by a bunch of clowns. And then earlier in the story, he got beat up by a koala. Okay. Yeah, the koala was like a real step down. And he wasn't like the butt monkey. And also, I'm going back to the plot. I'll keep going. And I overall liked the character, minus Crump and minus one other character. What was the character name? Oh yeah, those two idiots that work for Smithy. Yeah, Smithy's in this story. He makes one chapter, but then he's constantly referenced. Those two idiots, they were stupid. I didn't really like Smithy that much. But I can't really say anything bad about the story. It's an improvement over the original, so far. Grammar, this is where we start to falter. Oh my god. The original story had slight, couple minor mistakes, but not to the level of this. There is a lot of mistakes in this story. To the point where I'm not 100% sure, but in one duel, someone, I can't remember what duel it was. Someone summoned a dragon, and then for some reason decided to say, "Attack, Mirage Dragon, attack!" But it wasn't Mirage Dragon. I think it was like Meteor Black Dragon. Like, he summoned Meteor Black Dragon, and for some reason, I saw Mirage Dragon attack. It's like, wait, he didn't have Mirage Dragon on the field. What? I literally looked back, and I don't know. It honestly might have been something I saw, but there was literally a lot of mistakes. A lot of spelling mistakes, a lot of grammar mistakes, quotation marks missing, quotation marks in the wrong place. Although that one's I saw that one once. I can't remember what chapter it was. But I saw, there was literally, a lot of spelling mistakes, a lot of grammar mistakes. Words had, missing letters in it. It's, all over the place. So, that's one thing the original got better. The grammar was better than the first one. It was. It honestly was. Pacing and imagery. The pacing and imagery is what I really liked in the original story. It had a lot of good imagery. It described the monsters perfectly, and it didn't go into too much detail, so it didn't drag on. And this story kept the same theme. Pacing, on the other hand, it was my other biggest bugbear in the original. In the original story, all the chapters went like this. They walk around, they meet someone, they talk, they just say, "Hi, you want to duel?" Sure! They duel, and as soon as the duel, and then literally the entire chapter is made up by the duel. There's barely anyone talking. They'll talk as in providing exposition about on how to prove the characters. And after the duel, they say, "Okay, we'll meet you later. Bye." And that was it. And that was carried through pretty much almost the entire story. Thank God this story rectified that. They made the duels longer, which I didn't really like. Because, matter of fact, there's over 100,000 words more in this story than the original. The duels are longer. However, there's more that happens in the duels, before the duels, and especially after the duels. Consider the fact they actually give the characters more likability. They give them more characterization. They give the characters more reason to say, "I like this guy. I like this girl." Like the Dolce chick named Cindy. I mean, she was diabetic. Okay, and then she explained, why she uses them, because she can look at the sweets and she can still imagine them eating them and putting cess, saying, "I like to hug, and it being funny, and there's a lot of subtle things in the pace, in like the imagery, like most of the time whenever near the end when Gaga Cowboy kept showing up, there's like Western music showing up, and like, and more hilarious when I'm sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name. Oh, this is I just realized I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name. Let's see. It's the string Jin. Jin. Let's see. Where is he? Where is he? Okay. Yeah. Muzi Rhythm, the string Jin. Like every time he showed up, he always like strummed like a little solo. I think ding ding ding. Especially once he took like 3 times, he did like the solo. He started doing the guitar thing for "Devil Went Down to Georgia," that famous song. And every time he attacked, I'm not joking. This is like probably only funny to me, but whenever he attacks, I pictured him like waddling really fast while still doing the solo. Like I can easily picture like, and then attacking. It's like waddling like a penguin. It's probably only funny to me, but it's funny to me. I can't. There's also like little looks like whenever the Thunder Unicorn shows up, it's like, and little subtle subtle stuff that I really like, and a lot of callbacks that were in the first story. There's a lot of back. Those were way better because in fact, well, the story the first story was a product of its time. Because in fact, it was made in like 2005, 2006. So you're stuck with like all of the original Yu-Gi and me, and from what I read, like the Elemental Heroes, the Ancient Gears, and the Dark Heroes. That was it. And that was it. And I think Archfiends. And how the story paced itself was way better. There's a million things I could say about that. It's honestly picture the string Jin just waddling around about to attack someone while playing Devil Goes to Georgia. I'm sorry, I still chuckle whenever I picture that because it's just a funny image in my head. And finally, emotional investment and connection to genre. Emotional investment. Unlike the original where I got invested on and off again, it was annoying because I couldn't get fully invested. This story with its introducing more lore, introducing better characters, introducing more sympathy for the main characters and everyone else, it made me invested quicker. Still, I didn't get invested until probably the duel with the Melissa, the ex-bimbo sort of thing in the original. I didn't get invested in this story until that duel happened when I saw there were more changes happening. I think, but it still happened. I still got invested. It took me a little bit, but I got invested. Connection to genre. This story is a fantasy, unlike the original, which I think was. Let me go back. Say. Using the official FanFiction.net. Let's see. There we go. Shadows. Let's see. The original story was fantasy and adventure, and this one is fantasy general. I think fantasy general is a better fit because adventure, it's an adventure, but you can easily, with how the story was written, you can easily shovel that into a fantasy as well. With general, you have some subtle comedy. You see you see slight angst. You see drama. You see all these things that make it fitter. The fantasy part of it, I had no problem with it. It's easily a fantasy story, but the general fits a lot better than adventure. Now, would I recommend this? Yes, I would. If only for the fact that there's a lot of cards that are still made up, but are not as broken. Despite the fact there's, for some reason, the author decided to throw in a bunch of draw cards, which just use Pot of Greed. I'm kidding with that. Don't use. What does Pot of Greed do? No, 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 nah. Favorite part. Unlike the original story where it was like very hard for me to get like a favorite part, there's a lot of favorite parts. I can easily put the duel with Cortez in there, if only for the mother effing Flying Dutchman. Oh my god, that was so awesome with what the card does, the effects. Since I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, especially since the whole idea is like it's a pirate archetype. We don't have pirates except for like the Photon Pirate in the whole game. We have gladiators with the heroics. We have superheroes with all the heroes. We have samurais with the 6 samurais. We have wrestlers with the Gokus. We have even painting with the Weatheries, and I still want that. I want those Weatheries so bad. But come on, Konami. We've been asking for years for cards based off pirates. Cards based off pirates, for Pete's sake. I really, really want pirate cards. Just give me that. Give me pirates. Arr, Jeremy Timbers. Especially the Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman is nice. Especially since it's a zombie and water type. Since we don't have any of those in the game except for Sacred Spirit of the Ice Fairy, which is garbage, and Sea Monster of Theseus, which in about another month is going to be garbage. Except in rare circumstances. But I just want to see that. But the final duel, the tag duel between Stan and Francesca versus the Shadow Queen and Lyrius was amazing. It was over the top. It was amazing. And I'm just gonna leave it at that so you can read it because I have to do a chore. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Miss Mew Mew. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just that final duel, that final impactful duel, and leave it at that. And final thoughts, Konami, if you're watching this, please give us pirates. Please give us pirates. So I guess that's my review. If you have an opinion on the story, put it in the description. So in the words of the one and only devious jester Dementio, like with the wind, I am gone. Ciao.